The United States is in a mess. COVID-19 deaths are still rising, with no sign of the rate decreasing anytime soon. Unemployment rates have reached historical highs, not experienced since the Great Depression. Federal debt is rising significantly, with the figures for May 2020 reaching $24 trillion. Then there is the US-China trade war, with tariffs being imposed on both sides, affecting the economic growth for both countries, but significantly hurting the US more. All this while a pretty incompetent president is in the White House, who seems to care more about personal success rather than the actual country he governs. Not to mention the mediocre presidential candidates running against Trump later this year, such as Joe Biden, who's one of the weakest candidates to ever hit the podium, as well as the famous rapper with bipolar disorder, Kanye West. With all this going on in the country, it can be really easy to completely forget about important issues the country is facing, as news channels tend to focus on stories that will get them more views. One of these issues is economic inequality, also known as wealth inequality. You see, in 2018, the top 20% of the nation generated more income than the bottom 80%. This is known as income inequality. You see, people have been complaining about income inequality for years, as workers want to see their yearly income increase to meet the demands of their household bills. But an issue that's rarely addressed, but is a really major cause for concern, is wealth inequality. Wealth is something that can be passed on to the next generation and a generation after that. But to really see how big the problem is, you need to look at this map. This map shows the level of wealth inequality across the world. It measures the percentage of the wealth held by the top 1%. When comparing the United States to the rest of the world, it can be seen that America has similar rates to dictatorial powers such as Saudi Arabia, Thailand, and the Russian Federation. However, when compared with various Western allies such as the United Kingdom, Australia, and Japan, the United States falls far behind, with wealth in these countries spread across much larger percentages of their respective populations. Figures from 2019 show that the top 1% of the United States owned 38.5% of the wealth, with the remaining 99% therefore owning 62.5%. But what is more alarming is that the top 1% own over 12% more than the wealth owned by the bottom 90% of the population. Experts suggest that globalization is a major factor for both income and wealth inequality. The definition of globalization is the increase of trade around the world, especially by large companies producing and trading goods in many different other countries. Globalization has helped emerging economies to compete with the United States in various sectors. The most prominent example is China. As of 2018, China's share of global manufacturing was 28.4%, compared to the United States' 16.6%. But what is more interesting is that just over a decade ago, the United States was the world's leading manufacturer. However, the combination of China's increasing influence and the United States' falling influence in this sector has seen China's percentage of the sector rocket, almost doubling the US output each year. Studies have found the major economic inequality to be very harmful to economies, with experts suggesting that the current GDP of the United States could have potentially been 5% more if it wasn't for such large levels of economic inequality in the country. High levels of economic inequality result in children from poor socio-economic backgrounds missing out on pricey educational opportunities, therefore hampering their skill development, resulting in a generation of unequipped children. These opportunities are missed mainly by children of Black, South Asian, and Hispanic backgrounds, whose parents lack both secure income as well as a strong net worth to afford these luxuries for their children. This chart shows the median net worth by ethnicity. It demonstrates how white families year on year earn significantly more than people of colour. Wealth inequality in the United States has reached disastrous levels in recent decades. The idea that 3 individuals could hold more wealth than 50% of the population is insane. Wealth inequality could have really bad effects for the United States in the future. We will have to look to the future to see how the issue is addressed by officials. If you've enjoyed this video, it'd be appreciated if you could like and subscribe. I'm a very small channel, and doing this will help me with the YouTube algorithms and get my video in front of more eyes. Also consider watching some of my other interesting videos.